Hi guys, it's Nick or Tokin.Lucario, and today I'm going to be going through my next PSA submission, showing you some of the cards I'm thinking about sending off. We've got quite a few. This time we decided to go for something a bit more vintage, as our last submission was mostly modern, but we have some really interesting cards to show you, and I can't wait to begin. So first up, we've got this Raikou EX. I feel like I might have explained this story before, but it's just a very sentimental card to me. This one is in horrific condition, but I would just love to have it graded and added to my personal collection, regardless of condition. I would like to hit a 10 at some point, but I know this is not getting it. Massive peel back and all. Like I say, this is regardless of grade, I just want to have it in my collection, protected. Now, I said we'd be going for a bit more vintage. It's a bit of mix still. We've got this Suicune. It's a gorgeous card. I absolutely love Suicune, who doesn't? It's one of the best legendaries. And it's not guaranteed, but this definitely has 10 potential, so it's going to be going off. And I'll be excited to have it back. Next card up is this Celebi and Venusaur. It's a beauty. I picked it up from a local store of mine recently. It's in pretty good condition. I would say probably a 9. The 10 would be lucky. But again, one for the personal collection. I'm a massive Venusaur fan. Sylveon GX. That's right. Still not too vintage yet, but we're going with the Hidden Fates Sylveon. The centering's a little wonky, but I'm hoping that's not going to make too much difference. Quite likely to get a 9 on this, but the 10 is obviously the hope we're going for. Next up, more evolutions. We've got Leafeon VMAX from Crown Zenith. Gorgeous card. Absolutely gorgeous. A friend of mine just packed the Glaceon with me a couple nights ago, and I'm very jealous that she has them both. But I believe she plans on adding a few cards to this send-off, so it'll be interesting to see if we get sequential certs, Leafeon and Glaceon V-Stars. We all know this one from Astral Radiance. Machamp V was my personal chase card from the set, and I hit it fairly quickly, which is nice because then you don't have to keep buying the sets that you're not so fond of. Not to say that Astral Radiance was a bad set, but it definitely wasn't my favourite. But I had to have this Machamp, so I'm so happy to have pulled it. Almost didn't believe it at the time, because I think this came in my first booster box of Astral Radiance, and about 8 or 9 packs in, I almost just gave up there and then and thought, nah, I'm not going to get any better. So next up, we've got this Dragonite V. Probably one of my favourite cards from Sword and Shield as a whole. It is gorgeous. It gives me the Avatar feels, like the first movie, or like How to Train Your Dragon, you know, with them up in the clouds, Sky Islands and stuff. Honestly, I don't think there are many artworks in Sword and Shield that top this. It's such an exceptional design. Here we go. So this one, I should say, I think might 10. However, promo behind it, most likely not. I'll go into why. They're both perfectly conditioned in terms of the edges, corners, both Gen Mint in that respect. But I believe that the centering to be off on the Reshiram Charizard, much more so. See, it's all the way across. I don't know if that would be capable of getting a 10. The funny borders on Tag Team GX, sometimes you get away with this sort of stuff, but it doesn't fill me with a huge ton of hope. But I'm thinking that the Reshiram Charizard could get a 9. And the Pikachu and Zekrom have the chance at the 10. But I'm not banking on anything. But I packed both of these myself, or I say packed. I pulled both these promos myself. I managed to get lucky and get one of each box. One was an Asda exclusive here in the UK, and one was an Argos exclusive. I managed to get one of each box, so I was very happy to have my own copies. I have a sealed copy of this in my sealed collection as well, because I think there's such amazing promos and such amazing selection of packs in the box. They're definitely one of my most recommended sealed product pickups from Sword and Shield. So if you're interested in one of those, definitely have a look around. They're not too expensive at the moment, but they have been rising in price, so now might be a good time. Well, now, if you've been around my channel for a little while, or since I've started, admittedly only about a month now, you'll have seen this card a few times. It's felt exceptionally lucky to have got it. My girlfriend packed it. It's a League Play promo of the Pikachu VMAX, and it's currently going for around about £500. This one, I don't think will get a 10, because I believe the top to bottom centering is a bit far off. However, we might get lucky, and if it does come back a 10, it might be one of the most expensive cards in my collection. Like I say, I'm not banking on it, and I would just really like to have it encased and sealed up and protected, because it's just a very rare card. Next up, we have this Mew. I can't remember what set this is actually from. I want to say it's around XY, maybe like Steam Siege or something. Maybe Mysterious Treasures. It might not be that old, but either way, it is clean. It's a great artwork. The card's really nice as a whole. I love this style of card. I haven't even looked into if this would be low population or if they're hard to grade. I was just flicking back through my binder looking for cards to grade. I saw this and I thought, regardless of the condition, I kind of want it. So I've got 2 copies. I chose the best centered, the best conditioned overall. Let's just see, it's pretty good. So I mean, the 10 shot is not outside of the realms of possibility. I think, especially with vintage stuff, you should never assume to have a 10. So I mean, I'd be so ecstatic if it did, but I'm not banking on it. I would say most likely a 9. Here we've got a Trico from EX Emerald. It's the reverse foil. It's why you have these fancy Pokeball stamps in the foiling. I've got to say a couple things about this card. So I picked it up from Matt Cully's store, which again, if you've been around, you'll have heard me talk about before. He's a UK PokeTuber, and he runs a store on the side. And I have to say that the majority of things I bought from him have been mint, as in gem mint. Not graded many yet, but this will be the second time I've sent off cards from his, and I'm hoping for very good things. And then secondly, why did they ever get rid of the reverse foils like this? I mean, the reverse foils in the EX sets are, in my opinion, nicer than the holos. They have the fancy detailing, they've got the stamps on them, and they're just lovely. I don't really understand why we got rid of them, but if I ever get a chance to see any cheap, I always pick them up. Next, we've got this E-Series Flygon. This was a really quality pickup of mine, I have to admit. I happened to see it on eBay, on auction, watch it till the end. No one was bidding on it. I think I picked this up for about £2. It is mint. I really can't lie. As soon as I got this, I was really hopeful for the 10. It's going to go off. It's going to be graded. I'm banking on at least 9. And I think it might be one of the best returns on a card that I've picked up. Probably ever. And I'm just excited to see what it's going to get. I haven't even sent them off yet. These cards won't be going off until the 20th of May. They'll be going away with TrustGrading again. And hopefully probably about 2 months for the return. So if you want to see that, leave a like and subscribe and stick around, and it'll be up on my channel when they're back. Next we have this Meowth. Now if you watch my PSA return from the beginning of last week, I sent off the matching Pikachu promo. I picked both of them up sealed at the time, and if I'm being honest, I didn't think either of them were 10. But then the Pikachu promo came back, and I mean, I don't really want to spoil it, but it's 10. and it gave me a lot more hope for the Meowth, because if anything, the Meowth was arguably in better condition. The centering might be a little bit too far out to be a 10. I really ought to just check that, because I have a centering tool behind me. But I also think they're a lot more lenient with the centering on the E-Series cards, because they have such wide borders on the bottom. I don't think it has to be quite as accurate. It's quite low population, it's quite a good price, and if the Pikachu's anything to go off, hopefully this could be a gem mint card. And it'd be so nice to have them together in the collection, both promos from the set, and even more ecstatic if you can think to yourself that you managed to get both promos out of one attempt. Because I paid about £40, I believe, for both of them in the promo, and I really took a risk in opening it. And it would be so amazing to be able to say that I managed to purchase a 20-year-old pack online and managed to grade both of them at a 10. So good luck to you, Meowth. Next up, we've got this Chansey EX. Absolutely phenomenal card. The E-Series EX cards, they are something else. It's that massive border, but in the silver hollow foil. The fact that you can even get swirls. It's just gorgeous. It's one of my favourite designs. One of my favourite designs full time. But this one I happened to pick up in a collection from my cousin. She had recently decided that she was never going to return to Pokemon collecting. And I took a huge collection off her, about 5,000 cards and maybe a binder's worth of slightly more high quality stuff. And this is probably the only really gradable card in there. It'd be so nice to have it for the sentimentality of knowing it's, my family have pulled it within the last 20 years. That, and they're quite high value in good condition and rare to find. So I think this is definitely a 9. I'm going to be hopeful on a 10, although again, I don't think you should ever bank on a 10. But I think this really could be it. So I know I'm saying this for every card. I'm just very excited to see him back, and I haven't even sent them yet. We go a little more modern again, but definitely a card that I know you guys will love. The Mega Charizard from X and Y Evolutions. I managed to pull this one myself after returning around the time that these skyrocketed. Not a problem, because I'm not really in this for the money. I know I do talk about the value of my cards, but that's more in a sense that people... You never want to know that you spent money on something and lost value on it, But I don't really intend on selling most of these cards for a very long time, if ever. I'm definitely a massive nerd, and I just love Pokemon. I always have. I make my Pokemon clothes. I've got my Pokemon display. I've got every game. I've got every console. I'm really happy to have these cards back, and I can't wait to see what they'll come out and add them into my personal collection. Any Charizard in any grades a win as far as I'm concerned. Next up, we've got this Umbreon EX, and I packed more than a few of these, and my girlfriend absolutely loves all of the evolutions. It's hardly a surprise. Everybody loves the evolutions. This one's just really gorgeous art, and it actually has a 9-10 shot. I don't really like to grade anything that I don't know will have a decent grade to it, with the exception of very rare cards. I'm about to show you the last card, and it's just so low in population that it really wouldn't matter about the grade. But in general, you want to grade high quality cards, not low junk. And this is both a gorgeous Umbreon card, and I really think it could grade well. So we're going to take a chance on it. Now, the last card is something really interesting. You won't see these very often. I think I've happened to have seen maybe 2 of them sell in the entire time that I've been collecting, and both graded, I must note. But this is probably, again, one of the best pickups I've made in my collection time. I picked up a massive bulk collection, about 5,000 cards, and I split it all down, took all the trainers, took anything good out, and sold it on as cheaper bulk again. But as I was going through it and stripping it of anything good, I came across this card, and something just told me to keep it because I didn't know what it was. But it had Umbreon and Espeon on it. It's usually a pretty good shout that it's worth keeping. So I held on to it. I just completely forgot about it. And then I saw a store called Card Secret that I follow for a long time. They do about 3 times a year massive PSA auctions. They had one of these in, and that's how I learned what it was. Kind of. It was slightly mislabeled, but I've learned what it is now. It's a Battle E card that were released in Japan, and they usually got instructions on how to deal with a specific set of threats in the game, maybe some specifically hard trainers. I think this one is of the Silver Battle Tower, if I'm correct. But when looking into these the other day, I had no idea how rare they really are. There's only a total population of about 46 at PSA. And this is in pretty good condition for something that was just inside of multiple thousand bulk cards, in one of those per 1,000 strip cardboard boxes. Those aren't bad quality, but they do allow movement in them. So this to be in so good, I reckon this could probably PSA 8, maybe 9 at a long shot. I think 10 is completely out of chance, but I think this definitely could 8. And it's just such a unique piece. I really want it to be part of my collection. And the added value from it being so rare is not disappointing either. But I think if this comes back at 8, I could probably get around 200 for it. It won't be going up for sale, it'll be going into my personal collection. But what an exceptional increase for something that you pick up in a bulk deal. I actually managed to get the bulk deal so cheap in the first place as well. And then by the time I stripped it and obviously disclosed the fact that I've stripped it and sold it on again as bulk, the price of the cards I sold as bulk again actually covered the price I paid on the lot. So this is free or negative money. So whatever it comes back as is a win, really. And like I say, it's just so unique. I'm going to really enjoy having it as part of my personal collection, I think. Well, that was all for today, guys. We've gone over the cards that I'm hopefully sending off to PSA in about the next month. We've got really good variety, some vintage, some modern, some not generic, not real Pokemon cards. But I think there's a lot of potential here, and I know, again, I'm going to say it again, but I'm just so excited to have them back already, and they've not even left. But if you've enjoyed the video today, if you really like any of the cards, let me know down below. What's your favourite out of this submission? Are you sending anything off recently? Can I see it? I'm always really excited to know what other people send to be graded and get a perception of why. But like I say, if you want to see the returns in the future, or if you just enjoyed yourself today, please like and subscribe. And I'll see you next time.